my niggas prepared for the dog. Yeah. So we gon' get it on for the last days, nigga. You already know what it is. 140 for the rebel.
They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. It's a problem, tell them pop off. I die for I let my colors fly, boy. For a nigga take me, they a drop dead. AR, clean them up like a mop pig. Say he cool, he bad, he really so tough. They like, damn, look what he did to Billy go rough. Little bitch think she Kiki Palmer, silly hoe. She know I'm that bull, but I ain't from Philly though. From the city where they sing about that ribbon like petty poops. Know them niggas plotting, gotta deal with me. Can't catch me slipping, got to steal with me. Just left Alabama, bought a chopper from some hillbilly move. He made my life feel the blade. Leave them all bruised, come through like a plague. Rebel off the leash like a dog out the cage. Call me Johnny Blaze, I'm one West May. Watch your step get stretched like a limousine. So my brother bring that blade back wet, that's by any little nigga, this that cult, need to talk. Niggas know I got blood in my cup, I just sip it like it's grenadine. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out. Tell them niggas good night, here come the bitch. Look, told them niggas get right or get left. UPK bought mine, I pin to your flesh. Hellboy, rip the soul out of dead man. Shit, got the rate, the power, I been the showstopper. Yeah, they might hate, but I know they gon' watch. Zone on lock, and you know the flow prop. Iced out, got the drip out of David Jones lock. Know I got the plan, they say that you the man. No shit, Sherlock, I'm the one you heard about. Burn down the building, let them all watch. Throw that one west up, then I swerve out. Sick with this shit, I do not need a detox. He don't watch a step, blow him out them Reeboks. We taking over, I'm sending the word out. Can't see me, little nigga, I put you in a bird box. Look, it's one West practical, gladiator, maximal. Creep on them slow, but that Glock fire rapid. All I want is more power, more straps to blow. Ain't got excuse for no car, he gon' have to go. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out.
Yeah, you like, I'm gonna run around.
Khan. Shalom. Shalom, Lord of Christ. Okay, we like what's up. We are the ISUPK, started out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. And we teach that blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. God's chosen people. Okay. We're gonna go through the announcements, what we've got going on in the school, then we'll go straight into the class. Okay, so Monday night we've got, and just before we start, remember all the classes are streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Okay, the classes are live in the school from 7 till 9 p.m. On a Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay, so on Monday we've got the law class. Tuesday we have the brotherhood class. Wednesday we have the history class. Thursday we have the scripture breakdown class. And Friday is the Lashuan Kodash class. Friday evening after the Lashuan Kodash, we have the On the Ends, live radio show On the Ends with Captain Karathia and Officer Dungawa. Then Saturday morning we have a Sabbath service in the school 10 to 11. and then we hit the concrete for street camp from 12 till 5. 1 week we keep street camp in Birmingham Central, and the next week is in London Central, Piccadilly. So that's from 12 till 5 every Saturday. Okay, this Saturday we've got a class with Captain Mashak, Maidstone Road, Caribbean Centre, Leicester. That's in LE2. Do you know the end of the postcode, Mozart? LE2. Let me just find the postcode for you. I know it's LE2.
For Leicester Caribbean Centre. Yes.
Get that door. Get that door, Park. The postcode's LE2. Shut them up. You're good, brother. Did you get that postcode, Mozart? Someone's ringing me. Okay, we'll give you the postcode to the Caribbean Centre in Leicester for the class with Captain Mashak before we leave. Okay, so that's what we've got going on in the school. Okay, a lot going on, and we've got a food bank here. Anybody needs any food, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, get yourself down to 394 Lodge Road. Okay, we've not so much got fresh food, but we've got tin packet, things that will keep you going until your next paycheck or whatever your specific needs are. Remember, we love Israel, we love our people, and what we can do for our people is give you the truth. This is the home of the truth, by the Commanding General Yohana, the One West Doctrine, ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, and we do food stocks. We do live classes in the class, as you've heard in the announcements. So get yourself down to 394 Lodge Road. We've got a feast day coming up in the 2nd of October. That's the Memorial of Blowing Trumpets. That will be in the school at 394 Lodge Road, Hockley, Birmingham. Okay, so a lot going on in the school. Let's jump into tonight's class. Tonight's class is called 10 or 613. Okay, so let's have a look at that for a minute. Is there any questions in class before we start? Any questions, raise your hand. Any questions online? Just type it into the StreamYard. We'll get straight to you ASAP. Mozart, can you just pull the camera over just slightly, just a few inches, and backwards a little bit? No, don't angle it. Pull it around that way. No, that way. That way? Yeah, that's it. Hold on. Go back a little bit. Go back a little bit. Yeah, that's it. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, so tonight's class, 10 or 613. No questions in the class, we'll move on. So what do you think that entails, 10 or 613? Well, in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, we teach the truth. This is the home of the truth. And that truth is, what is the truth? Does anybody know what the truth is out of our records, out of the Bible?
The law is the truth.
The law is the truth. The Most High God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And according to the Christian church, there's only 10 of them. I grew up in a Baptist church learning that there was only 10 laws. The 10 commandments that were scrolled and scribed and recorded on stone tablets by our prophet Moses, okay, in Mount Sinai. Okay, but this is not the truth, what the Christian pastors teach. This is not the truth. The truth is there's 613 laws, 613, and you'll find them in the first 5 books. The book of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And we're going to prove tonight and debunk the theory that the pastors teach our beloved, our people, Salakia, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, that there's only 10 laws. Because if you don't keep the laws in its entirety, then You're for the chopping board. You're next for the chopping board. You're not going to make it. And just so that we know, some of these Christian pastors think they're very clever and acute, but they're not acute because you can't fight the truth. Okay? They'll come and ask you questions about moral laws and civil laws that may not apply to you. Okay? For example, when a woman, if your ribs had a child and she's unclean for, I believe it's 30 days, or 60 days. Is it 30 or 60? Okay, we'll look that up as well. Okay, so for that time period where you're unclean, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Well, if your rib has not just had a baby, that law doesn't apply to you. So when we tell you to keep all the 613, all the 613 laws, some of them obviously are not going to apply, depending on the time period in your life. Another example is the ceremonial laws. We have sacrificial laws. We don't keep the sacrificial laws anymore because it's recorded that Christ, Hamashiach Yahushai, the anointed one, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, was the ultimate sacrifice for us blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, so we could enter into the grace period that we're in today. And when the Bible talks about the grace period, that's exactly what it is. Christ died for our sins, not for the other 17 nations, not for anybody else. He died for our sins to redeem us, to give us that second chance to go again and get this thing right. You understand? So we're going to go into it tonight. The topic of the class, 10 or 613. So is the Christian church correct that teach there's only 10 laws? Or is the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohanna correct, teaching there is 613 laws? We're going to find out. Give me Ezekiel. Let's start off with Ezekiel 18 and 21. Bob Kasha.
Ezekiel 13 and 10.
Ezekiel 18 and 21.
The book of Ezekiel 18 verse 21.
Hold it there. Kana, read that for me, Baba Kasha.
The book of Ezekiel 18 verse 21. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he had committed, and keep all my statutes, and do them which is lawful and right, he shall surely live. He shall not die.
Read that again from the top.
Ezekiel 18 verse 21. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins.
So if the wicked, you sinners, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians amongst us, stuck up in that Christian church, learning there's only 10 commandments. Our people stuck up in that mosque, learning idolatry, how to get paid quickly, selling heroin in the mosque. Let's remember, the church is that whorehouse. Yeah,
that's right.
And your Christian pastor's that pimp who's pimping you out. And those of you stuck up in that mosque, you're in the bando. That's the bando. That's the trap. That's the estate trap. That's the bando you're in when you're in that mosque. There's more drugs being pushed through that Islamic mosque than anywhere in our community on the estate. There's weight being pushed through that mosque. Do we understand this? Read that again, Bob.
Okay. Ezekiel 18 verse 21. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he had committed, and keep all my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live. He shall not die. Okay, so more or less Ezekiel's telling you these laws are imperative. They're imperative for life. You know, these laws are going to give you eternal life. You know, that Christian church, that Islamic mosque is going to give you death and destruction. That's all it's going to give you. You're just pissing the Most High God off. You know, you're worshipping idols. You're getting paid off for drugs. You're not serving God. You're not serving God you're not serving the Most High
in that Christian church. You're being pimped out though. You know, the pastor's taking your money and telling you lies, and you're eating up them lies like his whore, and handing over your money like his whore, like a whore does to a pimp. Okay, read that again, Baba Kasha.
Come on. But if the wicked will turn from all his sin that he had committed, and keep all my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live, he shall not die.
Read that second part again from they shall. Salakia from and keep.
And do all and keep all my statutes.
And do what?
And keep all my statutes.
No, just keep 10.
And keep all my statutes.
No, just keep the ones that seem relevant.
And keep all my statutes.
Keep all the Lord's statutes. Do we understand this? 6:1-3. Ezekiel records, there's no mention in Ezekiel's records of 10 laws. There's no mention. He says all. And when you go through the first 5 books, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, there's 613 laws in the first 5 books. The bulk of them you will find in the book of Leviticus, but they're repeated again and again and again in the book of Deuteronomy. And you can find them throughout Exodus and Numbers. But the bulk of them are in Deuteronomy, and all of them are in the book of Leviticus. All 613 laws.
That's right.
So where does the pastor get off teaching our people there's only 10 laws? Where in our records is there a mention of there only being 10 laws? There's no mention of there only being 10 laws. So drop that. Get me Luke 16 and 17, Baba Kasha. No mention in the Bible of being 10 laws. And Ezekiel's records say keep all his statutes. That's 613. 613 laws. And remember, when you're learning these laws, get yourself out of that Christian church. Don't let the Christian pastor trick you with his folly and his witchcraft. You know, it's like he's got you on the end of a wand, mesmerized and hypnotized. And remember, that's almost like the ultimate whoredomism. He's whoring you out, just like a pimp whores out a woman and takes your money through his ties and does absolutely nothing with it, but makes himself look better, makes his home look better, and make sure he's driving a bigger, faster car. And he's getting more holidays a year. You're doing that because you're being whored out. And let's bear these things in mind, because what the pastors teach are not in the Bible. What our pastors teach, you cannot find in the Bible. You know, the unholy Trinity, the virgin birth, 10 laws, exactly on topic. None of these are in our records, but we've been duped and we're following this, just like a whore follows her pimp. So let's bear this in mind, Israel. Let's get it together. Where we at? Luke 16?
Luke 16 verse 17.
Oh, Salakia. Yeah, read that, Baba Kasha. This is red writing. This is Christ being quoted. This is Christ talking. Read that, Baba Kasha.
The book of Luke 16 verse 17. And it is easier for heaven and earth to pass.
Read that again.
And it is easier for heaven and earth to pass.
Read on.
Than one tittle of the law to fail.
There you go. The law is perfect. The law given to Moses to pass on to us, blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians, is perfect. The law is perfect. Read that again from the top all the way through, Bob. Sure.
And it is easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail.
Than one tittle of the law to fail. What is Luke talking about? Luke's saying heaven and earth is more likely to crumble. before you can find a flaw or a mistake in the Lord's law, in the law of the Most High God. You see that? There's more chance of heaven and earth crumbling. Just crumbling to dust. And we know that's going to happen to this wicked kingdom one day, but not yet. This law, the 613, the 613 laws are perfect. The laws that are recorded in the first 5 books of the Bible are perfect. And that's what we teach. That's what we teach in the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yahana. Read that again, Bob Kasha.
The book of Luke 16, verse 17. And it is easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail.
And the Most High God, He's perfect. Everything He touches is perfect. Everything He does is perfect.
That's right.
His law is perfect. The Most High God does not make mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes, but guess what? Your Christian pastor makes mistakes and he lies. Your Islamic imam makes mistakes and he lies. Your Rastafarian elders make mistakes and they lie. But there's no mistakes in our records. The Most High God doesn't make mistakes. He is perfect. His law is perfect. Everything He's ever done or touched is perfect. It's me and you that are not perfect. It's us that are not perfect. The ones of us that are not keeping the law.
That's
the
right.
ones amongst our people that are not keeping the law. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay? Don't have any expectations on these heathens because the Most High doesn't care what they do. But guess what? He cares what you do. That's what the Most High God cares about. He cares what you do and what you're doing. And there's not 10 laws recorded in this Bible. There's 613. Okay, so drop that. Get me Deuteronomy 30 and 10. Baba Kashar. Any questions online, just drop them into the StreamYard. We'll get straight to it ASAP. Okay, any questions in class?
Deuteronomy 30 verse 10?
Yeah, 30 verse 10, Baba Kashar. Any questions in class, just raise your hand. Okay, and don't forget, we've got class on Saturday afternoon after the Sabbath service in the school. Did we get the postcode? For Maidstone Road, the Caribbean Centre. Maidstone Road, Leicester Caribbean Centre. And the postcode is LE2. What's the rest of it, Mozo?
LE2 OUA.
LE2 0UA. That's the postcode for class. Get yourself down there Saturday afternoon. It's going to be fire with Captain Mashak. No joke. No joke. Okay, Deuteronomy 30 and 10. You got that, Babu Kashar?
The book of Deuteronomy 30 verse 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Read that again. Start again.
Deuteronomy 30 verse 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments.
To do what?
To keep his commandments.
And what?
And his statutes.
And what?
And his statutes.
No, just the 10 Commandments.
And his statutes.
Read.
Which are written in this book of the law.
Written in what?
Which are written in the book of the law.
In this book of the law. That's the book of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Now, let's not get it twisted. The law is repetitive. It's repeated throughout the 80 scrolls, throughout the 80 books of the Bible, our records. But if you want to learn the 613, if you want to learn the 613 laws, you will go to the first 5 books because that is the law book. That is the law book recorded by the prophet Moses, given to him by the Most High God. Okay, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Read that again, Bob. Shut from the top, Bob.
Deuteronomy 30 verse 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the Lord, unto the voice of the Lord thy
So if
God,
thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, read,
to keep his commandments and his statutes,
to keep his commandments and his statutes, not just the 10 commandments, read,
which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
There you go. No mention of just 10. These are the commandments and his statutes. There's no mention in the records of Moses of there just being 10 laws. Well, your Christian pastor teaches there's only 10 laws in the Bible. He doesn't teach there's only 10 laws. He teaches there's only 10 laws that are relevant for salvation or to make it to the kingdom or to be saved.
Excuse me.
You got a question? We got a question in class.
So and the tablets that Moses get the laws, right?
Come on.
There were more differently from
Yeah. There's another 603 laws.
So
They wasn't recorded on tablets. He brought down from Mount Sinai 10 recorded commandments on stones, on tablets.
Right.
Yeah. Now, but let's remember what them 10 commandments are. So we've got the question in class was, so there was more laws. Am I understanding your question? You're asking if there was more
There were
laws
more.
recorded
yes.
on stone,
Yeah.
bar the 10, on top of
On
the
top
10
of the
commandments.
10 that-
No, the 10 commandments were recorded on stone.
Yes.
The other laws were given to us. Moses, he would have recorded them somehow. I'd have to get from one of the men above me to give you a more accurate answer on that. But we've got to remember the 10 commandments that were recorded on tablets are the foundation of the 613, the 613 laws. They're the building blocks. Moses gave us all the laws. He didn't only give us 10 commandments. He gave us 613 laws, which he was given. But the 603 laws came from the 10 commandments. They were the foundation, the 10 commandments. They were the building blocks of the other 603. Do you understand? And the law is broken into 4 sections. The 613 laws are broken into 4 sections, and they are civil, ceremonial, moral, and dietary. Do you understand? That is the breakdown and the categories of the law. They all fall into one of them categories: civil, ceremonial, moral, and dietary. Okay? So moral is self-explanatory, it's your morals. Civil is a lot to do with brotherhood, how we treat each other, what we can do, what we can't do. Ceremonial, sacrificial, feast days, memorials, so on and so forth. And dietary is self-explanatory. You know, what we can eat and what we can't eat, what's filthy to the Most High God and what's clean. Okay, so does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, so there were 613 laws. I know it's confusing to some brothers and some of our sisters, because we've been stuck in that Christian church for so long, banging a tambourine, praying to Jehovah, a fake God, learning that there's only 10 laws. And how far and to what extent do we have to keep these 10 laws? Because they'll tell you that Jesus died so you can break the dietary law. Jesus died so that you can fornicate. Jesus died, and if you lie, say sorry and all is forgiven. And that's not in our records. That's a Christian slave doctrine that is not recorded by any of the servants of our Lord and the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, which is the Hebrew. In the English, it's Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so we got that. That's answered your question? Okay, any questions online? Okay, where we at, Mozart? We have verse 10 still.
Yeah.
Okay, read that again, Bob. Sure.
Come on. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto the Lord thy God, which with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
Okay, and that's the breakdown of verse 30. Jump down to verse 16 for me, yeah. So what do we? So there's no mention of 10 laws in our records, okay. And if you keep his commandments, which are recorded in the first 5 books, this is what is gonna make you perfect. This is what is gonna save your life. This is what's gonna give you eternal life. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, not the 10 laws that you learn in your Baptist church or your Catholic church. You Hispanic brothers and sisters, that's not what's going to redeem you. That's not what's going to save you. In fact, you're falling into a death trap in that church. That's all you're doing. Verse 16, Baba Kashot.
The book of Deuteronomy 30, verse 16. In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God.
In that what?
In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God.
Read on.
To walk in his ways and to keep his commandments and his statutes.
To do what?
To keep his commandment and his statutes.
And his statutes, read.
And his judgment.
And his what?
And his judgment.
613, read.
That thou mayest live and multiply, and the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
Okay, so the Most High God gave us a land to possess it, okay? And whichever land you ended, because remember, we've been kicked out of Israel. We're living under curses. You don't learn this in the church. So read that last line again, Mozart, Baba Kashah. The land where we go to possess. This doesn't mean the land we go in to claim, Israel. This is the land we go into possess. Read it, Baba Kashah. Let's break it down.
And this judgment, that thou mayest live and multiply, and the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Okay, so what land are we in today?
We're scattered in all the ends of the earth, in the lands of our oppressors.
Okay, what verse is this? 16.
16.
And I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. So there you go. Let's not go off topic. Okay, again, no mention of 10 laws. Like was taught in the Christian church. No mention of 10 laws. That Moses doesn't mention 10 laws in any of the first 5 books. Okay. But what we must do, according to the prophet Moses, loyal servant of the Most High God, is keep the Lord's commandments, his statutes, and his judgments for us to prosper. Do we get this? If you're only keeping 10 laws, you're not going to fulfill your vow with the Most High God. You're not going to prosper. Okay, read that again, Baba Show one more time.
On the top?
No, just verse 16.
From the top, eh?
Come on. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 16.
Yeah, the book of Deuteronomy 30 verse 16. In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgment, that thou mayest live and multiply, And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it.
So even if you're in America, Babylon, England, UK, China, because we're scattered to the four corners, okay? So no matter where you are, if you're keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High God's got you. Do we all understand this?
That's right.
He's got you. If you're only keeping 10 commandments, guess what?
He ain't with you.
He's not with you. He's not. Give me Leviticus 26 and 46, Bible Kashar. The Most High God's not with you. Okay, so you've got to hear this truth, Israel, and you've got to make up your mind. Okay, you've got to decide when that seed is planted in your head by one of the UPK warriors, one of the priests and prophets of the Most High God. You've got to say, well, that resonates. And if you don't, the Most High God's not moving with you. But if something resonates and you feel like getting yourself down to the school, you're going to learn this truth in the absolute. Okay? You're going to learn that there's not 10 laws. There's not 10 commandments like your Christian pastor teaches. There's 613. And you get down here and we're going to show you and give you definitive proof there is 613 laws. Okay? There's not 10 commandments. There's 613 laws. The book of Leviticus 26 and 46. Have we got that, Baba Kusha? Read that, Baba Kusha.
The book of Leviticus 26 verse 46. These are the statutes and judgment and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel.
Read that again.
Leviticus 26 verse 46. These are the statutes and judgment and laws.
So hold on a minute. I thought there was only 10 laws. This sounds like a lot for there only to be 10. There's statutes, there's laws, there's judgments. How has the pastor got away with this? That there's teaching that there's only 10 commandments. How the hell has he got away with this? Are we really this gullible? So we are, because we're a cursed people. And why are we cursed?
Because you've broken the law, such as commandment.
Because we're back at square one. We've done a full circle. You know, we lost our moral compass, even our intellect, because we couldn't keep the 613 in the first place. Now we've done a full circle and come back, and we're in the same damn place. We're in that same hole we dug for ourselves. We're in that Christian church learning there's only 10 commandments. We're in that Islamic mosque learning how to move brick and weight.
That's right.
That's what we're learning. Leviticus 26 and 46. Read that again, Bob.
The book of Leviticus 26 verse 46. These are the statutes and judgment and law which the Lord had made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hands of Moses. Okay,
so Moses did bring down 10 commandments scribed on stone, on a tablet. Okay, but there was 613 laws that Moses taught to as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Not 10. There was 613 established and agreed between the Most High God and us so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Where does Moses ever record there's only 10? And if any Christian out there can tell me that Moses or any of the loyal servants of the Most High God recorded there was only 10 laws, then prove it. Show us and prove it. We would love to know. And we will debunk anything you come with that states there's only 10 laws recorded in the Bible, in the Holy Bible. Because it's not true. It's not in there. Deuteronomy 4 and 5, Bible Kashar. Let's keep it moving. So the name of tonight's class is 10 or 613, and that entails is the Christian church right to teach that there's only 10 laws, or you only need to keep 10 laws to please God, to make it to the kingdom, to be redeemed by Christ, for salvation? Or is there 613 laws, what we teach in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana? The Bible speaks for itself, okay? The Bible is a record of a black history, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian history. This is our book. It belongs to no one else. The world stole this book and used it against us. The oppressor stole this book and used it against us. It doesn't belong to them, and it doesn't pertain to them. Okay, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, let's start at verse 5, Baba Kasha.
The book of Deuteronomy 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God command me.
Read that from the top, Baba Kasha.
The book of Deuteronomy 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that he should do so in the land, whether ye go to possess it.
Okay, again, just like in Deuteronomy, in verse 16, chapter 30. Okay, so the Most High God's commanding Moses here to give us is judgments and statutes, and that's 613. Again, time and time again, there's no mention of these 10 laws that we learn in the church. So where does it come from? Where does it spring from, these 10 laws? In Israel, we were told and taught by Moses to keep all the laws in its entirety, because guess what? And we're going to find later on in the class. If you're keeping the civil laws and breaking one ceremonial law, guess what? What does that mean, Moses?
You're guilty of breaking out.
You're guilty of breaking the entire law. Okay, collectively, these laws were given to us so we could keep our vow, our oath, to make us perfect. It's no use keeping 10 and breaking 603. Keeping a few and not keeping the rest. It's no use sticking to the not committing adultery, but then charging your brother, what's the term I'm looking for, Mozart? A dowry, not dowry. Is it dowry?
Oh, you're charging them usury?
Usury. Okay? There's no use keeping one law then breaking the other. That's the point, because if you're doing this, you might as well be breaking all the law. Okay, this law, we've got this law for a reason. We've got our records for a reason. It's time to get it together, Israel. Read that again, Bob Kusha.
The book of Deuteronomy 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as
the Lord.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me, that he should do so in the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Okay, again, we're stuck in the UK. We're stuck in the Caribbean. All over the world. We're scattered to the four corners of the earth. Okay? The only way you're going to prosper as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is to come back to the Most High God, to come back to the One West doctrine, the ISUPK taught since 1969, the ISUPK under the commanding General Yohana, the home of the truth. There's no other way. There's no way you can expect to be redeemed and you're in the church trying your best to keep 10 laws and you're not even keeping them.
That's right.
What do you think the Most High God's thinking? What do you think how he's looking at you? And you've been duped. You've got the priests and prophets in the UPK. We're out there every Saturday teaching our people the truth. Okay? The time of excuses are running, they're running out. Most of you guys out there on the concrete, you hear us and you're mocking us and you're laughing at us. But the last laugh is going to be on you. The joke is going to be on you, because our king's coming back and he's not going to tolerate your wicked ways, the heathen mentality that you've inherited.
That's right.
Are we with this? Are we with this? Where are we? Deuteronomy. Read verse. Give me verse 6. What was that? Verse 5.
Verse 5.
Yeah, give me verse 6, Baba Kusha.
Okay. Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding.
Read that again, Baba Kusha.
Deuteronomy 4, verse 5 and 6. Keep therefore and do them.
All 613. All 613. 613. Read.
For this is your wisdom and your understanding.
For this is what?
Your wisdom and your understanding.
Read on.
In the sight of the nation.
Read.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely.
And look at this. Look at this. Hold on, Mozart. These are the nations, when they see us, they're looking at, I don't know, can we say, we can't say certain things on YouTube, can we? We can't say, let's say Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
These nations, the oppressor, these other heathen nations, they're looking at our people. They're looking at us blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians like, look at these no-gooders,
Look at these.
drug dealers, pimps,
They're at the bottom.
liars, robbers, what else? Winos, bums. How do they look at us? Every way, which way, an angle they look at us is negative. You know, you walk past a Mobite family, a Chinese family in your center or on your estate, and you can see them grabbing their handbags. You know, I'm still walking past oppressors' cars and I hear click when I walk past their cars. What do you think that click is?
To make sure the car is locked.
And it's worse at night time. I do it at daytime. I could be at a pedestrian crossing the road, and I can, the front 3 cars in the 3 lanes at the lights, all you can hear is click, 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 because a black man's walking past their car. Imagine that. But if I was white or Chinese or Arab or Indian, I wouldn't face none of that. I wouldn't face none of that. Okay, read that again, Bob Kushar.
Verse 6. Therefore, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation.
So in the sight of the other nations, they see you only in a negative quantity. Imagine how they look at us, the warriors of the ISUPK and the Commanding General Johanna. We're keeping the laws. We're out there giving our people food, teachings, getting our women to stop whoring themselves out, getting our brothers off drugs, telling our people to stop shooting, stabbing their one another, robbing at each other, setting against each other. We're teaching our people brotherhood, to the foundations of being a strong nation again, the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, all 613. When these other nations see that, they understand. Guess what? Some of these Negroes ain't as dumb as we think. These guys in ISUPK, god damn, they could run this world quite easily with what they're teaching. And they know that. They see that wisdom. Read that again, Baba Kashan.
Okay. Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
And they will fear us. You see that? That's your breakdown. They will fear us. They fear us already. You know these Palestinian marches in town. We say, why do they want to rush our camp when we're keeping street camp and we're in order? And we're telling blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians how great they are and how to stop whoring out their women and to get yourself off of drugs, get yourself clean and down to 394 Lodge Road. They're so scared of us, they want to rush our camps because they see our wisdom and they see how great we are. Read that again, Barbara Shaw, one more time.
Verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Read that one more time.
Verse 6.
Barbara Shaw.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
We are a wise and understanding people, and these nations see that. They see that in ISUPK under Commanding General Yana, because we are the only Israelite group with the truth and putting the truth on our people. Just like the priests and prophets of aforetime, just like how Christ taught. And remember, these 613 laws are the building blocks for the entirety of the law. Not just 10 Salakia, the 10 laws, the 10 commandments are the building blocks for the 613. But the 10 laws alone that we learn in the Christian church, there's no records of it. There's no recording of that in the Bible. Okay, so we know that these heathen nations are going to fear us at best. They're never going to love us, but they see our wisdom and see how great we are. And the only reason they see how great we are is because they see us keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. They'll look at a Usain Bolt and hold him in awe. Yeah, but they don't fear Usain Bolt for his greatness. Do you understand? They actually fear us at the UPK because we've got the truth and we're making our people and our nation strong again. So do we all get this? Is there any questions, anything you want to add to that, Mosa?
Because when we go there and teach our people and their eyes begin to open to the reality of their consciousness, saying that we are the real Jews, we are the real Israelites, the other nation who always say they don't even know who they are. Yeah, because people come up to me and do you know who you people are? And I say, yes, I know. But we can't do anything until the Most High raise us up and tear down their kingdom. Mm-hmm. So basically, when they see our people gathering around us now, absorbing this knowledge and realizing, oh, so we are valid. We are worth something in this world. But the other nation, because they think we are brainwashed and we don't know who we are, knowing that Christ is raising us up now to bring the knowledge to the other 12 tribes, the other nation now don't like it. So it's like a pressure come on their head. Oh, we're gonna lose our kingdom because you're out there preaching. They're gonna put us into slavery. So guess what? We ain't gonna happy with that. So we're gonna try to intimidate them so they have to leave. So the other people won't get to raise up. Yeah, so basically, they are in real tumult.
Yeah. Heavy point. And the thing is, if we was just to hearken and come back to what we used to be in the days of aforetime, do you know how powerful our people would be? Look at us, how we live under these curses. Look how great we are. I mentioned Usain Bolt. These are just things that are not even lawful, like anything to do with the law or our records. This is just our physics, our mentality, our inventory, our spirituality. Even though we're cursed and stuck up in that church, you go to the oppressor's church Sunday morning, you'll think you're in the goddamn morgue. You go to a so-called black, Hispanic, native gospel church, you'll think you're in a club. Big mama spazzed out, fainted on the floor, pastor waving a white handkerchief over her face, trying to revive her. You know, there's something in our spirit, and even though your spirit's not right in that Christian church, the spirit that dwells in you will always be greater than the spirit of Satan that dwells in them. The oppressor.
That's right.
Are we all right on this? Now, to get your spirit right, to get the spirit of the Most High God in you, you need to get yourself down to 394 Lodge Road and get yourself into the ISUPK, or anywhere you are in the world, get yourself into one of the ISUPK schools under Commanding General Yohana. This is the only place you're going to be given this truth. It's the only place you're going to learn this truth. Where we at, Barbara Show? Oh, give me Matthew 5 and 17. Matthew 5 and 17. I really want Matthew 5 and 18, but we'll start at 17.
The book of Matthew 5 verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Hold on. This is red writing. So who is this speaking?
Yahushua.
This is Yahushua, aka Jesus the Christ. Hamashiach. Ha meaning the. Yahushua is his name. Ha-Mashiach. Yahushua Mashiach. Yahushua Mashiach. Anointed. Yahushua Ha-Mashiach. Yahushua the Anointed One. Read.
Okay. Are the prophets? I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Read that again from the top, Bob.
Okay. Matthew 5 verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Okay, so Christ says he's not come to destroy the law. Like a Christian pastor teaches, oh, the law's done away with. He died, so we don't have to keep the law. Read.
Are the prophets?
Or the prophets.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
What does the word fulfill mean? Do we need to get it? I don't know if it will be in here, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Fulfill means entire, not 10, 613, 613, the entirety. Okay, so he came to fulfill all the law. Jesus Christ never kept 10 laws. And what do the Christians teach? Teach our people up in that church to be like unto
Christ.
To be like unto Christ. Walk like how Christ walked. Move like how Christ moved. But that's the last thing they do. Because the Christian pastor's teaching, there's only 10 laws. You got something wrong.
But you must understand, the Christian church is like a commercial shop. They package something, give you, and spice it up to tell you that, look, forget about all of those. Sometimes you question the pastors, they tell you forget about the Old Testament. We are living in the New Testament now. Because they cannot. As Isaiah 28 verse 9 and 10 says, precept must be upon precept. They cannot correlate the precepts. So what they do, they tell you, just forget about the Old Testament. We are living in the New Testament now. So this is what God said, the 10 commandments. But the 10 commandments is a commercial package for you to keep you docile. Because it's going to, oh yeah, don't worry about that, man. Because guess what? God is going to forgive you. Just come as you are. When you come in the church, as I said, the church is like a dance hall now. People twerking and jerking all kind of different way. The kind of clothes people coming into churches, it is not modest dressing. Oh my life. And the kind of nails you see these women with, they come to scrape the paint off the wall.
Yeah, that's a heavy point.
The high lashes like the head gonna fly off on the back.
Yeah, yeah. And when they clip you with their nails, it's like
Oh.
razor blades. Okay, so the term the fulfill is not in the Zondervan. So let's just have a look at 17. I am not come to destroy. So 603 laws, like your Christian pastor says, not needed, unnecessary. We don't need them. Christ says, I am not come to destroy. So if he's not come to destroy, why are you Christian pastors destroying 603 laws and teaching there's only 10? Can somebody answer me that in the StreamYard? Can any Christian tell me why? If Christ, your Christian pastor says, be like unto Christ. Christ says he never came to destroy the law. There's 613 laws recorded in the first 5 books of the Bible, the prophet Moses' records. Yet, you jump on that Christian bandwagon and believe there's only 10 laws to be kept. But you're trying to be like Christ. Christ says he never came to destroy. What did he come to do?
Fulfill.
Read it, Baba Kashar.
Okay. Book of Matthew 5 verse 17.
Just the last.
Okay.
Till.
But to fulfill.
Till all. Salakia, yeah, but to fulfill. Read verse 18, Baba Kashar.
Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
Salakia, read verse 18 again, Baba
Verse
Kashar.
18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
And there you go. And this is what? The New Testament, Red Writing Christ, the book of Matthew. This is New Testament records.
That's right.
Okay, so if these are New Testament records, why does your Christian pastor teach that the laws of God given to Moses in the Old Testament are not recorded in the New Testament? Why does he do that? We're reading out of the New Testament now. This is red writing. Why does your Christian pastor do that? Why don't you ask your Christian? That's a question you should ask your Christian pastor. I think that is that Quasar.
Okay.
Okay, so ask your Christian pastor that. Why the hell is your Christian pastor teaching the laws of God, the 613, the 613 laws that were given to Moses in the Old Testament are not recorded in the New Testament, but right here in the book of Matthew, they clearly are. Christ says he came to fulfill, not to destroy. That's all 613. Read verse 18 again, Baba Kashar.
Okay. Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
And let's remember, the New Testament was being recorded. The New Testament was being recorded as Christ was teaching. So as Christ was walking road with his gang, with his man them, as Christ was walking road, the New Testament was being recorded as he taught. That's right. The New Testament wasn't recorded before Christ. Some of it was recorded after Christ, but it was being recorded as he taught it. And we've got to remember that, because your pastor is not going to teach you this. Your pastor doesn't teach you this. He just teaches you there's 10 laws. Like Christ only kept 10 laws. But Christ in verse 18 says that he fulfilled it. He fulfilled the law. And what did he say? One jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Ask your damn pastor that. Christ is saying nothing's going to happen. You're not going to make a headway. You're not going to get to the kingdom. I'm not going to return. The Father won't let me return. There's nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to give. Not one jot or one tittle until this has been fulfilled.
That's right.
To your vow, your oath has been fulfilled. That's 613. That's 613. That's not 10 like the Christian pastor teaches. So let's just bear that. We've got to be sensible about this. You got something, other one?
Yeah, and plus, Christ will have to keep 613 laws because he's not a woman as a monthly, so them laws don't apply to him. You know, Christians, it's funny, whenever a Christian says, do you keep all 613 laws? Say no. Say, because some of them don't apply to me. You know, I don't have to give a man in some birthday off because I'm not a business owner. I don't have to stay away for 7 days. I don't have a monthly. When I have a child, I don't have to stay unclean for 3 months. So even 613, it don't apply to everybody.
Another one can't. And that's a heavy point. The captain said the 630 laws don't apply to everybody. We know this. Listen, even the fake Israelite groups, you're going to go into a fake Israelite group and think, oh shit, I've got 600. I need to keep all 613 laws. Listen, there's many sacrificial laws that you can't keep nowadays.
That's right.
You can't keep an oxen and a lamb and a goat in your back garden. You understand? We're not all in Prospect District in Mandeville, Jamaica. We're not up in the hills at altitude in cultivating and working off of farmland where we've got space for goats and cows. And we live in the UK. We live in America. We live in concrete jungle. This is where we've been scattered to. There's sacrificial laws cannot be kept today. And Christ knew that. The Most High God knew that, and Christ knew that, and he had the Spirit to save us from that ordeal. He was the ultimate sacrifice, the sacrificial lamb. Okay, when your woman has a child, when your woman gives birth, okay, the Christian pastor will say to you, do you keep that law? She's unclean for 30 days. Or is it 30 or 60 days, sir?
I think I've been with child almost 3 months, I'm sure.
Three months, 90 days then.
Female,
Yeah. Okay. But she's unclean periodically. Okay. But guess what? If you've not got a newborn baby in your house, that law doesn't apply to you. Period. Get me Romans 7:1, Baba Kashal. Why would Christ teach that until the law is fulfilled, heaven and earth pass nothing, no matter how small, will pass by the law? Nothing will pass by the law. Absolutely. Have we got this, Mozart, in verse 18? Do you understand this? Is there anyone in class doesn't understand this? Not one jot, not one tittle will pass by the law. This has to be done. This has to be kept. This has to be fulfilled. And if you're in that Christian church, that Islamic mosque, in your fake Rastafarian doctrine, you are not going to keep all these laws because you're not taught them. Okay? Any questions in class? Laha? You got a question online? Okay, Yakal. Sister Yakal, because the other laws would contradict their false teachings and they would not be able to indulge in sinful lusts. Also, the laws would require to read the entirety of the Bible.
That's right.
Give that a hand. Shalom, Sister Yoshimai Ladam Bashim Yawashai, Sister Yakal. Just type in what school you're out of, sis, Baba Kashar. Get me Romans 7:1, Baba Kashar.
Go to 80 days, something like that.
Huh?
What's it on? Romans 7 verse 1. Something about go to 80 days.
Girl, 80 days. Yeah, Sharapa's typed in it's 80 days. Is that that's for 80 days,
almost
yeah.
3 months,
Yeah. So we said 90 days, it's 80 days for a girl. A girl child, 80 days. Okay? So we've got our records, start taking notes, record this, write down the precepts. Anybody who's in the stream, anybody who's listening, anybody who knows they've had that seed planted by one of the officers, captains, generals in the ISUPK and the Commander General Johanna. This is where you're going to learn the truth. I suggest you start taking notes and writing down these precepts. Okay, so where we at? Romans 7:1. Have you got that already? You beat me, Mozart.
Always.
Nothing new. Nothing new under the sun. I'll read that Bible for sure.
The book of Romans 7 verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law.
So now ye know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law. Read that again, Bible for sure.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law.
Read.
Oh, that the law art dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
Okay, so Paul said this because you can't possibly know or understand the Bible unless you know the
law.
There you go. If you don't know the law, who the hell has ordained you to break down our records? Here's another question that you Christians can ask your pastor. If your pastor is teaching there's only 10 laws, how the hell does he know this Bible? Because there's 603 laws missing that he's not aware of, or that he doesn't teach. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
Romans 7 verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, oh, that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
As long as he liveth. So here's another food for thought, okay? And this is as accurate as teaching the law gets, because how can you speak? How the hell can you speak on what Christ taught if you don't know the law? And what did Christ teach in his time on this earth?
To keep the law.
He taught the law. He went from gully to gully teaching the law. He didn't teach. He wasn't teaching, let's hold hands with the heathen, let's bang a tambourine and sing hallelujah and come by our my Lord. He wasn't teaching this nonsense. What you taught in the church. You got something for us, Mozart.
He wasn't teaching to commercialize it that you can make money off it.
It's a serious thing. Listen, this law is as serious as it gets. This is more serious than a heart attack, cancer, AIDS. You break the law, you might die from one of them.
That's right.
That's the substance of this law. You break this law, yeah, you follow the pastor in that Christian church, you're going to die from cancer, you're going to die from AIDS, you're going to die from diabetes, you're going to die from all these things.
That's right.
Okay, that's what you've got to consider. Read that again, Barbara Kasha.
Okay. Romans 7 verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
As long as he liveth. So how dare you Christian pastors teach what Christ, or even take Christ out of your mouth, for starters. Do you understand? You're poisoning our people. You've weakened our nation for long enough. You know, if you don't teach what Christ taught, you don't know these records, our records. And that's it, point blank and period. There's nothing else to it. Get me Brute 4 and 1. Let's see how long these laws, let's see how long these laws last for. Because the pastor says the laws are done. The law's finished. And that's what, listen, do you think I'll let my youngest daughter's 10 years old. Do you think I'll let her be raised in the Christian church. It's not happening over my dead body.
That's right.
How about that? Read that, Bob Kashar.
The book of Baruch 4 verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the what?
The book of the commandments of God.
Okay, so this is not talking about Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. This is talking about all 80 scrolls, because Christ is teaching the law in the New Testament. Let's remember that and bear that in mind. Read that from the top again, Bob.
Baruch 4 verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
So the Bible is the book of the commandments of God. Read.
And the law that endured forever.
And the what?
And the law that endured forever.
And the law, 6:1-3, not 10. And it endureth for when, Moses? It endureth for when?
Forever.
Forever. That's back in Moses' era. That was back in Jeremiah's era.
That's right.
That was back in Christ's era. And it's right here today. In the ISUPK era under commanding General Yohanan.
That's right.
We are no different to Moses, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. We are them men, regenerated, with the same spirit of them men that taught this in its entirety. That's us today. Their spirit is in us. All we've got is a different body now.
That's right.
We're doing the same work they did with the same spirit that they had. Their spirit is in us today. That's the bottom line. There's no getting out of this. The Bible says the law as well as the commandments. So if your pastor is saying only the commandments are significant, why is the Bible described as the book of God's commandments and law? These are the questions, the intelligent ones amongst you. These are the questions you should be asking your Christian pastor. These are the exact questions, the precise questions you should be asking them. Okay, Sister Yakar, the water. Come, sunshine. We might see you there soon. We're planning a trip from our school in the UK. We're not 100 where we're going yet, but the brothers will be together. Okay. No, it's the sister. She's just typed in where she is, and because if we go there, we will be visiting your school. We will be around you. We will be sharing brotherhood and sisterhood as the Bible taught. That's and right. You only find that in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohanan. Okay, so where we get me Leviticus 18, Baba Kashar. 18 verse 3. We're going to go through 3 to 5. How long we got left? 25. Let's try and get through these precepts. Keep your pens and your pads by your side. If you're taking notes, we've got a few more precepts to get through. Okay, the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 3 and 5.
The book of Leviticus 18, verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwell, and shall ye not do.
Okay, so we're in Egypt. We're in Egypt. We know the law, but it's not been reestablished through Moses yet. What are we doing in Egypt?
We were in slavery.
For 430 years, yeah, we was in captivity. But what was we doing whilst we was in that captivity? We was doing the same that we're doing today in this captivity, in this mental bondage. We had inherited and copying the traditions, the vain traditions and the profane traditions of the heathen. We might as well have been Africans when we was in that Egyptian captivity. We was acting like them, eating their abominable foods, doing what they do. The tattoos. all the abominable things that are against the law, 613, 613 laws, because there's no mention of there's no mention of tattoos or marring the skin in the 10 Commandments. But the 10 Commandments, which are the building blocks, will lead you to a law that says do not put tattoos on your skin.
That's right.
That's right.
Do we understand this? Read that again, Baba Kashar.
Leviticus 18 verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwell, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan,
Israel,
whether I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinance.
And there you go. The nails hit the head. Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head, rather. Okay? Why do we love the heathens' law, tradition, the laws and their traditions and memorials? We love their memorials. So we'd rather honor the oppressors, even today. What we were doing in Egypt, we're doing today. We'd rather honor the oppressors' politics and wars than our own God, than our own law that was given by our God, the one true living God, the God of Israel. We'd rather inherit and honor the oppressors' politics and wars like the North and South. The US, the American Civil War, other one. Yeah, the North and the South. What was that? The Union and the Confederation. And we fought in that war. We'd rather celebrate that memorial today than keep our laws. You see that? What is? It's not the 4th of July, is it? What is their memorial called for their North and South war?
They got, no.
This is a Judah.
That's
You sure? No,
4th of July?
No, the 4th of July was independence when the Yanks, the Americans beat the British, and the British had to leave. But the North and the South was over slavery. The 14th Amendment that was drawn by Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, the abolishment of slavery in 1865. It was drawn up in 1864 and activated in 1865, to my recollection. Okay, but that North and South war, they have a memorial every year to celebrate that for the Union beating the Confederation. We're fighting, we're celebrating a memorial that, no, not even the next man's beef. It's deeper. It's much deeper than that. We're celebrating today a memorial that for which oppressor would control us more. The North or the South, because the South had us in slavery, the Confederation. The North beat them and allegedly freed us, and we went into captivity to the North in mental bondage. And it's all the same thing, not new under the sun.
That's right.
Are we checking this out? Because it's deeper than we really believe.
That's right.
This is a lot deeper than we really believe. Okay, there's a question online. Sister Yaka'al asks, during the time of Christ, the people who followed him were called Christians. Also, would be right to say we are spiritual Christians despite the false teachings of today's Christianity. Well, if you follow Christ and you're like unto Christ, then yes, we are Christians, but we've got to be very careful because the term Christianity wasn't around 2,000 years ago. Remember, the term Christianity is a translation, an English translation, or even a Greek, a Latin translation, because Christ's name was Yahushai, Hamashiach, which means Christ, the anointed one. Ha meaning the. Christ's name was Christ Mashiach. That means, in the English, Salakia, his name was Yahushai Mashiach. That means Jesus anointed. You put the H-A in the middle of it, Hamashiach. Now it becomes Christ the anointed. So let's remember, we didn't have the English language 2,000 years ago. So it would be be more accurate to say, would it be more accurate, Adawan, to say we were Yahushai followers rather than Christ followers? Because the English language didn't exist back then, but the Greek did. But the Greek translation didn't come about. We never started calling Jesus Jesus until after Constantine, which was 300 AD.
All right, we'll follow Christ. Disciples were Jews.
Well, that's the question from Sister Yakar. During the time of Christ, the people who followed him were called Christians. Okay, we'll go with that, sis. There's no issue with that, as long as we understand the difference in the terminology when we're talking about language barriers.
Not to be mistaken with what you see today with red carpet and crosses. All it means to follow Christ.
Yeah, it's not like the captain said. It's not to be mistaken with crosses and red carpets. Yeah, Christ kept the law, and if you kept the law, you was a Christian. Okay, you was Christ-like. Okay, and the only real Christians are in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana, and we are the warriors of Christ, and we are the loyal servants of the Most High God, the priests and prophets of the Most High God. So I hope that answers your question, sis. Just type in a Khan, another one Khan, if that's answered your question. Okay, so where are we? Verse 4. Read that, Baba Kishore.
Verse 4. He shall do my judgment and keep mine ordinance to walk there. I am the Lord your God.
Okay, once again, more than 10 laws, his judgments and his ordinances. Read verse 5, Baba Kishore.
Verse 5. He shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgment, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
Read that again, Baba Kishore.
Verse 5. He shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments.
Okay, statutes and judgments again, more than just the commandments. Read.
Which if a man do, he shall live in them.
So if you're doing these, if you're keeping the 613, okay, if you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, they will just be in you. They'll just be in you, imprinted in your heart, which the Most High God did to us. Okay, that's what he did. And this is a gift. This is a blessing. Keeping the law is a blessing. Not keeping the law is a curse. Let's bear this in mind. Read on. Is that the end? Is that?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay, get me James 2 and 10. Drop that. Let's get these last few precepts before the class is done. James 2 and 10, Baba Kishore. Okay, Sister Yakar, that answered your question. I am the Bar Aqua.
The book of James 2 verse 10. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all.
There you go. Read that again, Baba Kishore.
James 2 verse 10. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point.
Salakia, read that again, Baba Kishore.
For whosoever shall keep the whole law.
No, just keep the 10 commandments.
For whosoever shall keep the whole law.
No, just keep the ones that seem relevant.
For whosoever shall keep the whole law.
Read.
And yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all.
Okay, so here's James, okay? This absolutely shuts down your Christian pastor, this precept. Absolutely shuts him down. Because he tells you there's 10 laws, okay? But here James says, whosoever shall keep the whole law is 613, like the Bible says, like our records say, not 10. So James says, whoever keeps the whole law and yet offends one. So like we said before, if you do not commit adultery, if you honor your brother, stay away from his wife, love her like a sister, but then you go and get tattoos, you're guilty of everything.
That's
Do we
right.
understand this?
That's
You
right.
can't have your cake and eat it. Do we understand this? Read that again, Bible Kasha.
James 2 verse 10. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all.
Guilty of all. You cannot break one law and keep the rest. Read verse 11, Bible Kasha. This
Verse
is the
11.
nitty-gritty. We get into the nitty-gritty now.
For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill.
Wow. Read that again, Bible Kasha.
Verse 11. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now if thou commit none, if thou commit one adultery,
no adultery.
if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law.
Okay, so a good example, but these two are both part of the 10 Commandments. These are serious laws. So yes, these are two a part of the 10 Commandments, but James' records here prove that all the law is to be kept.
That's right.
Not just the 10. All the laws are to be kept. Okay? And record this, put this down. It's James verse 10. James chapter 2, verse 10 and 11. This is the get your Christian pastor to answer you why James is saying that if you break one law and keep another, you might as well be breaking all the laws. And he's pushing you only need to keep 10. Get me Psalms 19 and 7, Bible Kasha. So any questions in class? This is your last chance. We've only got 10 minutes left.
Okay. The book of Psalms 19 verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect.
The law of the what?
The Lord is perfect.
The law of the Lord is perfect. There's 613 laws, and David said they're perfect. Why did King David say they're perfect? Because Psalms was recorded by King David. These are the records of King David. Read that again, Bible Kasha.
Psalms 19 verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
And why do they make the simple wise? Making wise of the simple? Because they take you out of this wicked world. When you start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, okay, you go through a transition period where you leave this world and you walk into the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. And that's the only way you're going to be keeping the law in its entirety. You're not going to be keeping it in one of the fake Israelite groups, because they're as bad as your Christian pastor. They're not teaching the law like how we teach it, like how the priests and prophets of the Most High God of aforetime taught it, how Christ taught the law. We teach the law to the letter of the law. The letter of the law, as recorded.
That's right.
In the Bible, in the Holy Bible. Okay, so they take you out of this wicked world, the laws do. They take you out of this wicked world, this carnal world, and they put you where? In the truth. And this is the home of the truth. One West, ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. You're not going to get this in that Christian church or anywhere else for that matter. Okay? Keep the laws and you are wise. That's where it makes you simple in the world. You was doing simple things all day long. You was letting your wife go on road and whore herself for money and come home with 10 man's liquids in her. And you're going to go and lay down with that and think that's normal. That's simple. That's simple. And King David's record's telling you that's simple right here. But you come out of that life. You fix up yourself. You fix up your wife. You fix up your family. You keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And that simpleton that was in the world becomes wise. He gets knowledge and uses that knowledge and channels it in the right way, in the spirit of the Most High God, and you gather wisdom. You become wise. Read that one more time, Bible.
That's right. The book of Psalms 19 verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
There you go. Make him wise and simple. But if you are simple and you want to be wise, you've got to come out of that world. And how do you come out of that world? You go through a transition. You come into the ISUPK, the Commanding General Yana. You do your 90 days. You get your name. You're a student in them 90 days and you learn this Bible. You learn these laws, statutes, and commandments. You get your name after 90 days and you start applying these laws, statutes, and commandments within the 90 days and thereafter. And when you become when you become skilled in the breakdown of these scriptures, you will start teaching. You will take your officer's exam. And when you pass your officer's exam, you will sit at a desk, you will go on the road, on the concrete, and you will teach our people and save tens and dozens and hundreds of our people and thousands. That is the work of the Most High God. But you've got to put the work in. You've got to learn these laws, statutes, and commandments. You've got to learn our records. Get me 1 Samuel 15 and 22, Bible for sure. 1 Samuel 15 and 22. If you've not got it, I'll read it. You got that, Moza?
Give me time.
Okay, remember we've got class this weekend, this Saturday after Sabbath. The Sabbath service in the school at Leicester, Maidstone Road. Leicester, Maidstone Road, the Caribbean Centre. In Leicester, Maidstone Road. Captain Mashak will be doing the class. It's from 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. That's 1,300 hours to 1,500 hours. Come and get your scripture breakdown from Captain Mashak. Class is going to be on fire. That's this Saturday at Maidstone Road, Caribbean Centre, Leicester. Okay, 1 Samuel 15 and 22. Read that, Bible Kushar.
1 Samuel 15.
And verse 22.
15, 22.
Now, make sure you listen to this precept because this is why the law is so important. Read.
The book of 1 Samuel 15, verse 22. And Samuel said, "Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offering or sacrifice as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice."
So there you go. Prevention's better than cure. Do you want to please the Lord or be constantly trying to make peace with him? You decide. Because in that Christian church, you're constantly trying to make peace with the Lord. In that mosque, you're constantly trying to make peace with him. In your Rastafarian doctrine, you're always doing something wrong. You're always slipping up and trying to make peace with him. Is not prevention better than cure? And how do we prevent? How do we prevent mistakes?
By practicing the law.
By keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. Not 10, all 613. Read that again, Bible Kashar. This is why the law is so important, because Prevention is better than cure. Read.
Okay. 1 Samuel 15 verse 22. And Samuel said, Art the Lord as great delight in burnt offering and sacrifice as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of ram.
So there you go. Prevention's better than cure. Rather than being stuck up in that Christian church, keeping 10 commandments and always trying to make peace with God, always trying to please him by saying sorry for this, sorry for that. Yeah. Wouldn't it be better you get yourself down to 394 Lodge Road, into the home of the truth, the ISUPK under commanding General Johanna, and learn all 316, all 316, because Samuel's records tell us right here, prevention is better than cure. Keeping all the law is better than learning a false, fake lie and keeping it partially.
That's right.
And them Christians, let's face it, let's be honest. Them Christians do not know the second law, which is brotherhood and sisterhood. They do not take care of each other like we do in the UPK. Let's be honest. They sleep with each other's wives.
Yeah.
They hate each other's children.
Yeah.
The pastor's whoring out his whole congregation, taking their money to make his life better. Where's the brotherhood and the sisterhood in that? They do not keep the law in the church. They don't even keep the 10 commandments, but they teach the 10 commandments. It's bizarre. That church is just upside down and back to front.
Definitely.
The Most High God, you'll never find the Most High God dwelling in that church. We'll get that at the end. We'll use that as the last precept. Get me Ezekiel 11 and 16, Baba Kashar. We're nearly done now. Any questions in the stream? Let me.
Ezekiel 11:15.
Yeah, Ezekiel 11 and verse. Yeah, 15 will do.
Come on. The book of Ezekiel 11 verse 15. Son of man.
Salakia, start at 16. Jump down to 16.
Okay. Verse 16. Therefore say, thou say, the Lord God, although I have cast them far off among the heathens, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
Okay, so the Most High God scattered us. He scattered us because we refused to keep 613. We refused to keep the 630. We refused to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. We kept messing up again and again and again. Okay? So what did he do? He scattered us to the four corners of the earth. Yeah? But guess what? Your Christian pastor says there's only 10. The ISUPK is that little sanctuary that Ezekiel's talking about here. Do we understand this? That little, read that again, Baba Kashar.
Ezekiel 11 verse 16. Therefore say, thou say the Lord God, although I have cast them far off among the heathens, and although I have scattered them among the countries.
Okay, so we're scattered to the four corners of the earth because we couldn't keep all the law. Just like what the Christian pastors making as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians do today. Teaching is only 10. Okay, read.
God. Yet will I be to them a little sanctuary in the countries.
Okay, so what is that? Hold on. What is that little sanctuary? That's the ISUPK. The Most High God gave us the UPK under commanding General Johanna. This is the little sanctuary Ezekiel's talking about all the way back then. And we have it now in the ISUPK. Let's use it. Let's use the ISUPK under commanding General Johanna. Let's save our souls. Do you want eternal life or do you want death and destruction? in that Christian church. You decide, Israel. Read that again, Baba Kishar.
Ezekiel 11 verse 16. Therefore saith the Lord, 16? Therefore say thou, saith the Lord God, although I have cast them off among the Edens, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
There you go. Guess what? We're the ISUPK, the home of the truth. We are not big in numbers like in the Christian church. Even some of these fake Israelite groups, we haven't got the number. We don't let Africans and GOCC, the oppressor, into our family. This is for our people. Okay, our records are for our people. Our so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It's not for the other heathen nations. Not one of the other 17 nations does this belong to or pertain to. So we're not big in numbers. Why? Because we're dealing with the truth. We only allow our own people to get this truth and be taught this truth. It's not for the other heathen nations. The other heathen nations, when we're keeping street camp, might hear the truth. But they don't get it. They don't truly get it. They don't have the spirit to get it. Okay? But our people, when that when that seed is planted, we believe and hope that they will go and research this and find out that they need to be here in the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana to get the truth, to learn the 613, to learn all the law, statutes, and commandments in their entirety. Okay, and some of them Israelite groups like the IUIC, fake as hell. And that's why you see them doing their marches like they march in the Christian church, and they're big in numbers, in their thousands. We're not interested in that because we don't want Hamites amongst our people, mixing with our children, diluting our genetics. We don't want the oppressor in here. This is not for them. This is for us blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, this is the ISUPK, the home of the truth. And this is the sanctuary that Ezekiel's talking about. That little sanctuary where you can find refuge and you can find the truth and you can find the Most High God dwelling. He doesn't dwell in the IUIC. He doesn't dwell in your Christian church.
That's right.
We're going to finish off because we're out of time. Get me quickly Acts 7 and 48. Let's see if you'll find the Most High God in that church. Let's see if we'll find him in there. Let's see what the Apostle Paul recorded. Let's see the records of the Apostle Paul. This is straight from the Most High God through the Apostle Paul.
The book of Acts 7 verse 48. Albeit the Most High dwell not in temple made with hands.
Read that again.
Albeit the Most High dwelleth not in temple made with hands.
Dwelleth not in temple made by hands. What are the temples in this wicked ass world today that were made with man's hands?
Churches.
The brick buildings, the churches, the mosques, the synagogues. God just said out of his own voice through the Apostle Paul, he doesn't dwell in these brick buildings made by man's hands. So how the hell are you going to find the Most High God in that church?
That's right.
With that, it's a done deal. Tawada for listening and tuning in. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And we teach that you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, the 12 tribes, God's chosen people. And when your pastor tells you there's only 10 laws to keep, you call him a goddamn liar, because that's exactly what he is. And with that, I'm going to call the class.
That's right.
I'm going to hand the class over to Officer Mozart for the security announcements.
This is the ISUPK security announcement. The ISUPK security announcement. We are the ISUPK, started out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The role of a new brother and sister, where a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are not to be They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves off the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head of the school to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, a brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 verse 21, Malachi 3 verse 8 to 10, means tithes in the Hebrew, Mahishara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord give to the treasury department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation.
The feast of the memorial of blowing trumpets, the 2nd of October.
Announce Holy Convocation from the sheet. Remind Akim and Akiawas to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband and scarf. And with this, we give the teacher one courtesy salute. Imadiam.
Men of Israel.
Men of Israel. Imadiam. Shabbat. Imadiam. Barak. Yahweh Shim Yashai Brakatam.
Yahweh Shim Yashai Brakatam.
Yazemata. Class dismissed.
To water to everyone in the stream yard. Yahweh Shim Yashai Brakatam. To the brothers, Yahweh Shimon the Dam Shim Yashai. To the sisters. To water. Shalom.